Hey everybody, and welcome back to the video series where we go from beginner trader to funded by Apex Trading, and you follow along trade by trade, day by day, and we go through each daily breakdown and each trade and get this account funded. Let's first start off with the account summary and how that's been going. Ended the week strong with a nice healthy profit of $204.11, paid $7.14 in commissions, and the current account balance is $50,670.20. So we are back on track and on our way to getting funded. We're about a fifth of the way there at this point, so that's exciting. Let's take a look at the trade summary for today. We had 3 trades, one lost straight off the bat, unfortunately, a really nice short, healthy profit there, and then one small short towards the end of the day. Just only got a single partial on that one, unfortunately, and then stopped out break even. Let's jump into the daily chart and the hourly here, how everything's set up, and then we'll look at the 1-minute chart to take a look at the executions for each one of these trades. Let's look at the daily here. This is pretty familiar, I'm sure, if you've been following along, or if you're trading consistently. We've just been messing with this daily supply zone, came up into it, found resistance, sold off, and we formed this daily demand zone below, and we're coming down to test that. We've been in a long-term uptrend since October of last year, all this noise, and then currently testing the 50 SMA, the 50 simple moving average. Let's take a look at the hourly chart here. We'll get a better idea of what's going on. Market is still currently open, so you might see this tick around a little bit, but I'm done trading for the day. I want to get on with my weekend, right? That's the whole idea is here, that making money and getting away for the day. We don't want to spend the entire day sitting in front of the charts, right? So we have this hourly demand or hourly supply zone here. And we had this hourly demand zone here. We've got the other supply zones above, as well as the daily supply zone here, and then the daily demand zone below. So I think this is going to start coming into play in early next week, maybe mid next week, but this is going to be a major area that we need to watch eventually. Back to today and the trade executions. Where are we here? Zoom in a little bit. So this is trade number 1 here. We saw a nice strong run up into the pre-market hourly supply zone. Had a wick down, nice sell-off, tested this low here, broke it, came back up into this flat top area. We had a real nice delta rotation, a negative delta rotation on the footprint charts. So I got short there. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to hold the area, stopped out. However, another trade that I like to take is when we sweep the highs, especially when we start seeing a divergence between price, cumulative delta, as well as the RSI. So let's take a quick look here. This is one of my favorite setups, honestly, but I had to amend this one a little bit in order to get into the trade. So here we go. That is the RSI divergence, CDV divergence, cumulative delta for those of you who aren't in the know. And then we actually got to the tick a double top, and right at the top candle we had a nice strong delta, a positive delta that was unable to break through the high, which is what really triggered me into that trade. I'm actually just going to pull over the footprint chart here so you can see what I'm talking about. This is not a time-based chart, it's actually a Renko delta chart. It shows the bid and the ask on the left side, and then the bid-ask difference, or the delta, on the right-hand side, and is displayed in a delta profile, as you will. So this is the area here that I'm talking about. Came up, this was the first trade into this area here. Didn't get it, continued up, stopped out in here. And then this was that that, let me get my arrow. This was the delta rotation. So we got a nice strong delta, positive delta up into the high, wasn't able to break it, meaning that we had passive sellers holding this down. And that's where I got short when we saw the rejection off that area. We rejected, I got short, started coming below, the trade started to prove itself. This is something that I consider to be a bit of a miss because I'm really trying to work on adding. I'm taking a smaller initial position and then I'm working on adding to my trades. So this here I think would have been a really strong add that I missed. So sell off into here, right? Retest here. I think that would have been a really good add, or even here, right? One of those two. However, this I think was a great add that I managed to get a hold of. We broke below this area here, right? Proving the trade, starting a downtrend, lower high, lower low, come up and retest this area here. Again, I'm how do we say, qualifying these entries, the retest, based on my delta chart that I showed you just earlier. So again, rejection, sold one more into there, so I'm now up to 3 MES contracts. Okay, we push up a little bit higher. I don't want to re-add. That would bring my stop down a little bit too far, and like at this point, this is my stop up here. Originally over high a day, add one more, bring it down to this area here, and then we get a nice strong sell-off down into the VWAP here, down into 72. Cover 2 into that area, and then as soon as we start making a higher high, I get out. That was the exit for that trade. Totally covered, didn't want to hold on to it. I think, you know, once you kind of overstay your welcome in a trade, you're just going to get knocked out break even, and I really want to hold on to what I can in order to make this account grow as fast as possible. So that was trade number 2. I'm just going to get rid of some of these lines here just so we can highlight it a little bit better. Uh-oh, I lost my hourly supply zone there. So we'll mark that first trade, and then we'll mark this second trade here. We'll go back to the hourly chart and make sure that we have the proper supply zone marked still, because we're going to need that going into the third trade, right? Once you get these levels set up, you can trade off them as long as they hold. So let's scroll forward a little bit towards the end of the day. Come on. I know, I waited a while to come back and get this trade. There it is. Right? So, kind of bouncing around. This would have been me stopped out break even here on my last contract, or even, oh, down here. See what I mean? Just get rid of it if you're holding it. That's it. There was definitely some good longs to be had in here, but I kind of moved on for the day. Came back later on after lunch, and this was the next trade. So we tested this 1 hour zone again, came back up into it. Again, we see that divergence that I was looking at before. This is one of the main things that I like to look for when I'm entering a trade, is this divergence right here. Again, RSI, cumulative delta on the 1 minute. It's even better if you see them on the 5 minute combined with the 1 minute. Then you're really cooking with gas, right? You have that extra confirmation. So got in short with 2. We saw a nice strong sell-off into this 76 area. Got 1 out, was hoping for it to continue down into 72 or potentially down into this 1 hour demand zone. Didn't quite get there, unfortunately, and just stopped out break even. So that was the 3 trades for the day. I think that was a fairly successful trading day. Not quite as profitable as yesterday. I didn't get, you know, as many ads as I would have liked to in here. If I got an extra one, that would have been fantastic. That would have really added to the profits for the day, but I just wasn't quite convinced on that first ad, unfortunately. Now let's take a look at the calendar for the month of August. Where are we here? Calendar. And so far, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 winning days, 3 losing days. And the running total for this week is a profit of $363.70. So nice, strong, profitable week. I just really need to work on these losing days, bringing down my average losing days, and we'll really be off to the races. So I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I hope you're learning from it, especially my trade setups, how I like to set up my charts, what kind of areas I'm looking for. I like to base everything off the hourly chart and the daily chart and then kind of work down from there. If you're enjoying them, please consider subscribing, giving me a like, turning on that notification bell, because I'd really like to get these videos out to more people so that they can, watch this journey of how to get funded and maybe get funded themselves. I hope you had a great week trading. Hope you're staying green, and we'll come back on Monday for another week. Fresh eyes, fresh head, and let's get this account funded. We'll see you on Monday.